match, I would have to give that edge to Alireza Firouzja, who has been clutch in this tournament thus far, winning both of his Armageddon matches.
Would you agree with that, Jan, or do you have a different take on who is the favorite in this match?
I think Zach is biased because him and Alireza are lookalikes, so of course he is rooting for him. But Hans Niemann, with all the controversy surrounding him, arguably one of the most famous chess players there, has been steadily improving. What I really admire about him, with all this attention on him, he's been improving his chess. He's definitely world-class in Blitz, improved a lot in Classical, and we'll see if he's got it in Rapid. I think it's pretty much a crapshoot.
And the game has just begun. It's a best of 4. And if it's a tie after 4 games, we will see another Armageddon. The stakes could not be higher. The player that wins makes it to the semifinals. The player that loses will be eliminated. I'm going to give it over to you, Zach and Jan, to cover the action here.
Thank you, Anna.
Thank you, Anna. We have another London system. I was so excited about this matchup, Zach, and now the London system, the most boring opening known to man. Should I take a break, come back for game number 2?
London system in Paris. What could be more romantic?
I don't get it, too. What's good about that?
2 big cities.
Oh, wow.
I feel it's very poetic.
Why not the Berlin Wall?
Berlin Wall is more of a darker time in our history as humans. I feel like these 2 inaugural cities, Paris, London, what makes for a more beautiful and poetic match?
Tell us more. What is this position? The Black Queen is out. White has given up on the center. He's moved his bishop twice. They're breaking all the rules. I was taught, you bring your pieces out, your castle, you fight for the center. They aren't doing any of that.
Well, maybe we'll see the fight for the center very, very soon, as Alireza Firouzja might play this pawn to c4 move, attacking Black's pawn chain.
He could do that, but he goes for pawn to b4. That's, in chess, they call it the orangutan.
Orangutan would be on the first move. However, this is about 10 moves in now.
So you should have played before, is what you're saying.
Before, previous, we don't know. And now we see that c4 move, classic to attack the Black pawn chain.
Yeah, even though this is fairly non-standard stuff, it looks reasonably balanced to me. White eventually has to finish development, meaning get his bishop out, castle with his king. And then this pawn structure always has the tendency to simplify. If either side exchanges the central pawns, we are left with a pretty symmetrical pawn structure. So what Alireza Firouzja, the man with the golden glasses, has to do is make use of the white pieces, create a slight initiative by using his tempi, attacking some piece in the black camp, because if not, this will just fizzle out to a draw. Everybody hates draws.
Exactly, he has to create something.
There he
here.
goes, knight to d4, center. Threatens another knight jump to b5 to target the black queen and the bishop. But Hans Niemann is going to spot that. Maybe advance his pawn a little bit. Cover that square.
Yeah, and we have that close-up shot of Alireza right there, who is dialed in, absolutely focused, with a very low heart rate at this point in the match, which is very interesting.
Yeah, way below 100. Normally we only see such numbers from the Iceman Arjun Erigaisi, who was in the other quarterfinals. He was at like 58. I've never been at 58 in my life.
I don't even think that's humanly possible, let alone for your superhuman tendencies.
Yeah, so Hans Niemann, taking a moment here to think it through, chewing his gum, and he has to cover that square on b5, I would assume, because if you allow that knight jump, yeah, there he goes, advances the pawn. Little slow, but he's gotten there in the end. Pawn takes, and Black normally wants to recapture with a knight here. Yeah, he does it, because if you take with the pawn, you end up with some weaknesses. Alireza keeps playing very directly. He still hasn't developed his king side. His king is in the middle. He's trying to make something happen before.
Very funny. We've seen this similarity in that last match that we covered. Norderbeck kept delaying his kingside castling. Why do you think that is?
Sometimes there's more important stuff to do. I mean, these are the best players in the world. They know you're supposed to bring your king into safety. But if you just get your pieces out, your opponent gets his pieces out, you shake hands, there's not much happening. So he's trying to generate some action here before by targeting the black queen, invading there on the queen side, but doesn't look like he got very far. I think Hans is solid.
Hans is solid indeed as he completes his kingside castling there.
Yeah, it's time for Alireza to catch up in development, also bring out that bishop and bring his king to safety. Or does he have other ideas? Could he jump with the knight, attack that bishop?
Ooh, that knight jumping to the center of the board or to the square c4, attacking this bishop.
Not sure how much it does, frankly. The bishop is going to go away. Get these pieces out, Alireza.
Yeah, that bishop must develop. But how about this problem bishop for black on that c8 square? It doesn't look like it has any possibilities of moving, and those rooks aren't coordinated. What's going on there?
Yeah, but if given a bit of time, that knight will move, make a square for the bishop will go there, the rooks will come. It's very much about keeping it cooking here quickly for Alireza. If not, black will just stabilize and be comfortably equal. And he does hit that bishop.
Bishop must move here as it
offering more exchanges.
2e7 offers a trade with that bishop on g5, and now we have a true Mexican standoff.
Is it a true Mexican standoff?
What is a true Mexican standoff for you?
I'm not sure. Is it people pointing guns at each other?
Well, how do you know that those bishops don't have guns?
I don't know. Let's be serious, Isaac. This is an important match. Bishops with guns. You know, you're really pushing it. Alireza has guns. He's hitting the gym. That we know. Hans being very, very solid here. I'm still wondering how white can make anything out of this tiny initiative that he has. He could exchange the bishops, ending the standoff, then jump with his knight into the heart of the black camp there on d6. But it doesn't look like it achieves all that much. Everything's protected.
And seems like Alireza is taking some valuable time off his clock to solve this decision.
Such a good feel for the initiative. Alireza Firouzja, the second youngest player to ever reach 2,700, the youngest player to ever reach 2,800. Because in chess, 2,800 is a sign of super, super elite. Only a few people have done it. Alireza did it as a teenager. Then he said, you know what? Chess is too easy. I'm going to take a couple years off, do some looks maxing, some sneaker designing, enjoy Paris, France. But now, feels like he's back on home turf, trying to win the thing.
Back on home turf, hopefully better than ever, as this is his chance to qualify for the semifinals.
Hans Niemann, on the other hand, has been very, very devoted to the game of chess. Did you watch his Netflix documentary?
I did. You're talking about Untold Chess Stories, correct?
That is what it's called.
Yes, I did watch it. It was very controversial, very spicy, and I think the producers really wanted that out of such a story, and they succeeded well. And
whom were you rooting for?
I think it made everyone look bad.
Everyone? Wow. Is that what you want out of a documentary? Knight to e5, we have like a 4-knight tango in the center.
Ooh, Mexican standoff, and now we have Mexican salsa between
I'm
those
not
knights.
sure I like what Alireza is doing. Feels like black is very comfortable. The horses are out. White still has not castled yet. Black rook is ready to join the party in the middle. But you rarely see this picture, no? Knights occupying the very center of the board. e4, d4, e5, d5.
Beautiful. In our first match, we saw this
Stop saying Mexican standoff. Enough already.
Knight town hall meeting in which the knights were on the 4 central squares as well. It was very interesting to see.
Pawn to f5, forcing the action. Very direct. I was taught, never move your f-pawn. The problem with all these rules is there's always exceptions. Still, I'm not sure how much I like it, because this is a perma-weakening of the black structure. Now white is forced to exchange the bishops, but he won't mind. He will exchange bishops, drop his knight back, and say, you have done permanent damage to your king's safety.
All the while.
f5, getting a bit carried away.
Well, he's just trying to force matters, but maybe in the short term, this decision will not pan out long term.
And now I get what he wants. He wants, after bishop takes, he wants to recapture with his knight and then say, my queen is on that long diagonal, staring into the heart of your position on g2. That's his point.
Yes, punishing or aiming to punish Alireza for not castling and thus defending that weakness on that g2 square.
The bishop gets taken, no alternative. And I think Hans wants to recapture with the knight opening his queen up. Because if not, you don't see a move like pawn to f5 from such a strong grandmaster. But no,
he takes with the queen.
Takes with the queen, but now he's a bit worse. Now just knight back. I think he noticed some detail that bothered him. Maybe after knight takes, white could not retreat his knight, advance his pawn instead to f4. But now he's slightly worse. Knight to c3, exchange one of the knights, and then you feast on that structure. Alireza doesn't want any exchanges, keeps all 4 knights. But knight normally wants to be closer to the center of the board. Because they're in the 2nd rank. How many squares can you reach from d2?
Not as many as the number of squares you can reach from the center of the board.
Let's count. I think it's 6 from where it's now. Well, it's 8 from the center.
Correct.
Oh.
Bingo. And now he develops his rook to the center of the board, kind of x-raying this white queen on its original square.
Yeah, I still prefer white. The queen will go somewhere, and these weaknesses are forever. But it's not too bad. So you would rather have this pawn back on f7, giving the king some additional protection. Looks nice on f5, restricting the bishop, but weakens his colleague, the pawn on e6, and the bishop can always switch diagonals, go to the a2 square. So I think Alireza is doing well, but on the clock he's a bit behind.
He is a little bit behind, nearly 90 seconds behind to be exact.
So word on the street is that Alireza Firouzja said, I don't just want chess to be my life, I also have a passion for fashion. And he took some time learning how to design sneakers. Have we ever seen the Firouzja sneakers?
I have not. Have you?
I haven't, but I'd like a pair. I think he has a keen sense of fashion. What do you think his sneakers look like?
I have no idea, but I do know that he likes his bishop fashionably along this very nice diagonal.
Smooth.
On a2.
Yeah. I still like his position. All kidding aside, this is a uniquely gifted chess player. Magnus Carlsen, back when Alireza was like 15, 16, he invited Alireza to one of the training camps and they were playing blitz matches. I was there sitting in the corner doing nothing.
Wow, okay.
And Alireza was winning quite a few games against the greatest player in the world. So Magnus spotted his talent early, later on said, if I'm going to defend my title, I'm a bit bored of all these World Championship matches, then against Alireza, because this guy's good. But somehow it didn't happen for Alireza. He didn't do well qualifying for that title, took some time off, didn't play a lot of tournaments. Do you think he can still become world champion?
Ooh, I don't know. That's a question for a different time because
Why not now?
boy,
He's right there.
It's so difficult for him to make the qualification cycle.
Yeah. But he does have world champion talent. As for the position, he's been a little slower, but he's fast, of course, so we don't need to worry that much.
I'm so surprised at how Alireza can keep his heart rate so low despite such a tense match situation. Really, really is some veteran presence. He's been playing these types of blitz, bullet formats, no
Whoa.
increment. Ooh!
On to g5. Not what we are taught in chess school, exposing his own king even further to go for a counterattack. Hans, maybe realizing that he's a little in trouble long term, is saying, you know what? I'll go for the initiative, try to make up for it. And this might be very good decision. I don't think Alireza saw pawn to g5 coming.
I love this ambitious try by Hans Niemann, trying to create havoc on the white king with this pawn storm.
Alireza saying, all right, calm down, let's exchange. Couple horses. Lower the temperature a little bit.
So you do want trades when you're getting attacked, n'est-ce pas?
Apparently, but Hans Niemann is saying, merci beaucoup, let's keep the knights on the board. Alireza saying, okay, if not knights, maybe queens on that long diagonal, maybe we can make a little trade there. Maybe Hans will yet again say, no, put his pawn in the way. This is already a very different match than the last one we saw with all these very high-level technical draws. This is a bar fight.
Yes, this is a bar fight, sharp as can be. Grab your tools now. It's a very interesting struggle, particularly in this position, because you see that the white king has 0 defenders, so it's perfect to be attacked, but white is slowing down that black attack by threatening to trade pieces, trade queens.
Yeah, I think Alireza has enough initiative to make it difficult for Hans to keep it going. Right now he's threatening. Knight takes pawn on e6, and the queen cannot recapture because there would be a pin on the long diagonal. So Hans has to answer that threat.
And how do you? Do you push
I think
your
you go pawn to
up?
e5 to block that diagonal. I'm not sure if there's other options. He's clearly thinking about something. That looks to be the obvious one. The king could also sidestep, but that would mean the king is on the same diagonal as that bishop again, which typically you do not want. Could be some tactics, like some knight jumps. Oh, he blundered! He missed it! He missed the threat!
Oh my goodness! This might be a decisive game!
And this is it.
Alireza Firouzja has the game on his hands, and he plays
done it, of course.
Hans Niemann
is a
so
giant blunder at this level, using the pin. And it's not just the pawn, because this knight, which will survive, also attacks both of the black rooks, so it's instantly resigns.
This is a mega blunder by Hans Niemann, who cannot believe his move.
This is insane. We don't see this at this level, but he was so focused on his attack, allowing a reasonably simple tactic. The queen cannot take the knight because the king would be attacked. And
oh my
he does
God,
resign.
and he resigns
on
move 26. Alireza wins this game so quickly.
Yeah, we haven't seen that much. We've seen mouse flips and time trouble drama, but here